That was needless. It's all fine.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Snowflakes podcast. We are finally here after so long. You don't know how long it's been. It's been a few months, I can tell you.
But we do, and it's been painful.
Yeah, very painful.
Oh god. If you don't know who we are already, you can check out our introduction episode, which is available on YouTube and on other podcast platforms as well. Our first topic this week, and the first topic of the Snowflakes podcast in general, is the Insulate Britain protests, which have been happening since the 13th of September 2021. Yes, it has been a while now.
Definitely.
What are our opinions on Insulate Britain?
Whew. Well, the message aside, I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
There's nothing, okay, there was insulation in, it's...
Firstly, what is it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's probably right.
do you want to read it off?
Yeah, well, the aim, the primary aim of Insulate Britain is to have taxpayer-funded nationwide home insulation, and which is not just doesn't exist currently. That's what they want, and the government aren't doing it. So does that mean that they should disrupt life in the way that they do? Not at all.
I mean, anything that decreases the energy that people use and anything that takes steps towards decreasing global warming is good. I mean, to be fair, I don't know where it's coming from. I think the UK is generally quite a well-insulated country, at least compared to other countries.
I think because we have naturally cold weather, a lot of our houses already have stuff that does protect. The thing is, not everyone does.
Yeah,
and not enough.
There's a lot of wealth disparities.
Exactly. I mean, the people who can afford it, let's think about it. If you're poor, the last thing you're thinking about is how warm the house is. You're putting food on the table, basic necessities. But what they're asking for is the government to do that for everyone. And I believe the government should. But what a lot of people's issues is their methods.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You just said that Insulate Britain, like the protests, you're for anything that prevents global warming. When they're blocking cars, a lot of people leave the engines on anyway. So what they're actually doing is just pumping more CO2 into the atmosphere anyway. So it's actually hindering the environment,
It
isn't it?
sends a message, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sends a message of what they mean.
Then again, that message has problems when they're blocking ambulances.
I think
and
that's the
things
main
like
issue
that.
for a lot of people.
It's
Is blocking the public
There's
services.
direct action and there's taking it, blocking motorways and things. But when you're blocking ambulances and key workers, it becomes very problematic.
There's a difference between direct action and endangering people's lives. And when you're blocking ambulances from getting to hospital, you're doing that, and also preventing loved ones from preventing people from seeing their loved ones in hospital. And we've seen some of the videos that have been released of people being very upset, very distraught because they would not be let past to see their loved ones who's currently in hospital because some people decided that they were going to block the motorway on that.
Well, you can always take I don't like arguing against this, but I'm gonna whatever it's called, devil's advocate, whatever. Firstly, there's usually ways of getting around motorways and stuff, even though it's a nightmare. And secondly, I'm assuming they did other protests that were less severe, or did they just start off with this?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know, but look, no one knew about them until now.
That's the point, though, isn't it? Now we're talking about it.
Yeah, that's what they wanted for people, maybe not us particularly, to talk about it.
If you don't protest and disrupt people, then usually the government doesn't do anything.
I think, but there's a difference, right? I think you can still let ambulances through. I think because I think that's a survey 100% disagree with this protest that emerged, and especially there was that woman as well who was trying to see what relation.
Have you all seen the video of?
I've seen multiple videos of people.
I think that their issue is you have to maintain, because they're on a level of morality saying we need to do this to help people, and you have to maintain that morality through your whole process. You can't go out saying I want to insulate houses to protect people, then stop ambulances which could save people's lives.
Yeah.
That is not what you're protesting, and people will understand if you're letting ambulances through. People are going to forgive that. People will understand that, and I think I don't know how personally. I would go out and I would campaign for this. I think it's a great thing. I'd protest for this. But
Would you stand in the middle of the motorway?
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah, but I wouldn't block. I would not consciously block.
I feel like
emergency services.
Because the other thing is it would have been really easy to solve the issue as well. You're probably going to block essential services instead of blocking all 3 lanes. Because we have 3 lanes here instead of your 6 lanes in the US.
Yeah.
You block 2 lanes, and then you just cause traffic jams instead of complete blockage.
People still talk about it.
Do you feel that Insulate Britain are alienating people from a very reasonable cause by doing that? Because I think a YouGov poll has shown that 72% of the British public oppose the actions of Insulate Britain. So I feel like they're actually hindering this cause rather than helping it by what they're doing.
It depends on what.
Because I can't see the Conservative government changing their mind, to be quite honest with you.
Well, they got this. Why would they? This Insulate Britain is not exactly a huge voting majority. People aren't backing it. They don't care about the vote.
As you can
Yeah,
see,
the
my
only reason the
72%.
Conservative Party does anything.
Granted,
is to get
granted,
votes.
about 72% of British, we've got to take it with a grain of salt. Who did they ask? How many people did they
Yeah.
ask?
Well, UGov's is one of the major.
And also,
I know, but
what
they've
was-
still got their own biases.
What-
Everyone has their
What
biases.
were they asking? Like, were they
It is
asking,
when
do you support Insulate Britain, or were they asking, do you think that their actions were uncalled for, or whatever? There's like a load of different levels of question.
But without delving deep into statistics, I think
Yeah.
the point still
Well, I
stands.
think we can definitely say that the majority of people oppose them, like, whatever that number might be. We can say that for sure.
I feel like oppose the actions of. I mean, let's look at it with a perfect example. I mean, maybe not a perfect example, but we all disagree with blocking the emergency services, don't
Yes.
we? And blocking the people seeing their loved ones in hospital. And I think hopefully that would translate to most of the British population. And I think, but the point, statistics aside, the point is, the Conservatives aren't going to do anything about it. They don't care. Individuals in the party might care, but as a whole, they've got their huge majority. This isn't going to be affecting them in the next election, and unfortunately, this is how our system works. If it doesn't affect the next election, the government doesn't really do much about
And
it.
the problem is, the Conservatives, they're not going to lose votes by not insulating houses. And at the moment, people aren't angry with the government, they're angry with people blocking the roads.
Yeah.
That's what the government wants. They can keep on blocking those emergency services, because then the government, they don't have people at their doors, they have people at Insulate Britain stores, and that's exactly what the government wants.
It's like deflecting the actual argument into.
It's blocking the road. You hear it's coining a word. You hear Insulate protesters block roads. You don't understand. Well, you might understand if you know the story, but you just hear some protesters blocking roads and they're blocking ambulances.
And then it turns into things if they're doing like a march. You hear Insulate UK, and then immediately blocked roads, stop loved ones, and then that immediately you've got negative connotations, and that's what the government wants.
No, I personally have I have very negative views towards the screen. You might not have like the same level of negative views, but I do. But I've seen like some of the British public acting in, you could say, quite a violent way towards these people. Not violent, like I've seen videos of these protesters. A lot of these protesters are quite old, by the way. I don't know why that necessarily is, but I've seen lots of people like dragging them to the side of roads so that they could get the cars through. And I've seen like a video of a man just like walking past a row of Insulate Britain supporters and like squirting oil in all their faces. Have you seen?
No, I've
video?
I've seen one of someone running their car into them because they've been like frustrated.
Yeah, that's really bad. And also, this is people. Well, this brings us to the next point we've got about the police involvement. Should the police do more?
I was wondering whether just to quickly talk about the actual installation thing and what that means. So, firstly, like I think a good percentage of the gas usage, not fuel, gas is in butane. No, what it is.
Yeah.
What heats our house?
That heats the house, goes into central heating, which heats a boiler that's hot water. If you don't know, insulating houses means that you can use up less gas, which produces less carbon dioxide, and that's a good environmental impact. Hand spinny. And I think what a lot of people want to do is switch out the boiler for a heat pump. I'm not going to go into like all the tech of it. It's actually quite interesting, so look it up if you're interested. But basically, it means you're heating your house with electricity instead of gas, and it's a lot more efficient. And the way to do that is to insulate your house. And it's like it's a really easy step to take, or at least it should be. And insulating is just something you really need to do. It just
helps, really.
Yeah.
Like
it's such a simple thing. There's no reason why anybody should be against insulating houses. It's ridiculous.
I don't think many people are, but they are against blocking roads.
That's
I
the
mean,
problem
you
now.
talking about like someone squirting oil. That's like an obvious. I don't care about what you think. I'm going to pollute the.
And the fact that they
No, I
used
think it's-
oil. I mean,
I think
they
it's just like this has been going on for a while now. There's a high amount of public frustration towards these people, you know, which didn't exist right at the beginning, but now it's just they're fed up of what they've been doing. And now let's go on to our final point on Insulate Britain. Do we think that the police should maybe do more to combat this group? Because the police come to where they're blocking the roads, they arrest them, they take them away. Do they release them straight away and they're back out blocking roads the next day? Because it seems like that could be happening. How big is this group? How many people do they have doing this?
I think people have a right to protest, and it's hard for police to draw a line. When
They have a right to protest, but they don't have a right to
Yeah,
block ambulances.
But
There's
it's hard for the police to draw a line between when they're standing at the side of the road and then suddenly they're out blocking ambulances.
And the last thing the
police
police want.
the police can't immediately just prevent people from standing by the side
And
of the
the
road.
other thing is, you do not want to be arresting protesters.
No.
Yeah.
Like unless
We want to-
unless it's violent, That's the way you get dictatorships.
So hang on. You don't think these people should be arrested?
No. It's basically the police don't want the media backlash or the threat of like going to court about wrongfully arresting people that could violate their human rights the right to protest. It is a very grey zone.
Thin line.
It's a very hard line to walk.
I think what the police probably should be doing is going to the protesters and saying, "This is not okay. You need to change this, otherwise we'll have to take action." Like, then the police would be like mingling with the protesters and helping them manage the road safely, and also making it so it's not too disruptive, but also still maintains the protest.
I think that's the problem, because they don't want to engage with the state and they don't want to engage. With
and also for police, it's hard to police a movement without a face when it's lots of people. It has organisers, but at the same time, you can't stop these millions of people.
Yeah, what do you differentiate between, as you said earlier, a person walking down the side of the M5 and just a protester who's going to block the road? You can't. Then it becomes a police state where you just arrest people.
Yeah, then you've got issues with profiling.
Exactly.
Oh, they're a protester, they're going to do this.
Yeah,
so I think it's very hard to police things like
this.
But
the problem that the police have at the moment is that they arrest somebody for blocking an ambulance or whatever, and then they're out the next day doing the exact same thing.
Well, they've not committed a crime, as a matter of fact.
What would you propose they do instead?
I think there should be. I think at this stage there should be tougher sentences for people who are posing a serious threat to some people's lives.
A fine,
which
maybe?
is what they're.
But who dictates that? The government, and then we get the government. Then we get the government running away with, "You're a terrorist. You're a protester."
Yeah, like even there was recently like a law that was passed at some point that made some form of protesting illegal. I don't know.
It's not been passed. It's a bill that's in progress.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it gives more police powers or something like that.
I thought that there was like they changed the definition of protesting or something to make
it's something like that.
But I know it's dodgy and I don't like it and it's worrying.
Yeah.
And we don't want to go further into that.
Yeah, but okay, so let's just like get a feel of how we're all feeling.
Yeah, to wrap it up.
Okay, Insulate Britain. Positive opinions of them or negative opinions of them?
Well,
Joe.
I'm gonna have to say neutral, because I disagree with their actions, but I agree with the message.
Well, I mean, everyone does that.
Well, that's the point. When you've said a positive opinion, you've asked the YouGov poll. Like, I can't say positive or negative, because as a whole, I agree with the message, but what they're doing is wrong. So how can I define that?
Well, if what they're doing is wrong, then you must have a negative opinion of.
No.
So you don't have a negative. Okay,
I
personally do have a negative opinion of them. What about you, Corey?
I think I'm verging on neutral but slightly positive, just because someone needs to do something. Come on, we need to be doing things.
I agree, but there must be another way of direct action of which they could do this without, But no, it's dangerous. Some of this is doing that. Sometimes it's really dangerous, and they shouldn't be doing it. Let's be very clear about that.
That factors into
Let's be very
opinions.
clear.
If you had a positive, that's a drawback, but that doesn't give an intrinsically negative opinion. Because there's all like the good cause, bad methods.
Yeah.
It's just not black or white, is it?
Yeah.
No, of course
like
not.
all politics.
Nothing is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But everything's just some grey area within like a massive. I don't know. There's probably a Terry Pratchett quote for that.
Anyway, our next topic.
You have COP26.
Leave a comment if you can figure out the Terry Pratchett. if the
engagement.
Get
10 viewers.
Yeah.
10's pushing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so yesterday.
I think we'll have 4 viewers and they'll all be us. Anyway,
yesterday, the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference, that's a mouthful, started in Glasgow. COP26 for short. And the first point I'm going to make on this is the intense hypocrisy of the world leaders taking part in this conference.
No.
So, world leaders have been flying into Glasgow. World leaders have been flying into Glasgow on private jets, which will blast more CO2 into the atmosphere than Scotland actually pump out in a year.
Yeah, I think honestly,
this climate change conference, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a piss take. I'll be honest. For like just going around with these, their private jet. Oh, look at me! Put them in economy. Like, imagine I mean, you can't for security reasons, but imagine a plane with like every world leader on it. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. But no, it's a joke.
Well, they could use this thing that everybody's been using for the past 2 years called online video conferencing. Like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, that was a point brought up in like it's been brought up in debates. We've been through,
exactly. Yeah, this is
that's fine.
This is a pandemic. It's still going on. Some people think it isn't, but it is still going on. They could have done this all online.
Yeah.
Why was it necessary to pump more CO2 into Scotland than put more CO2 into Scotland on private jets than the country actually manages to do in a year?
And it's
Why is
stupid.
that necessary?
It's stupid because the technology for like online meetings over 2020 and 2021 has come along like massively.
Other than Teams, everything.
Like they could have done it, but because they have that image of world leaders meeting and coming in with like red carpets and their
get the
private
handshakes
jets.
in.
I think like the
For
problem is
media.
like you end up with the other thing is if you have too many world leaders in a small place, then
Well,
the stupidity
virtually
complex
every-
just
virtually every
skyrockets
world
and you
leader-
and you went tearing holes through the fabric of reality and things. It's not good. You don't want to see it. It doesn't work well.
It's like G7 recently happened. Well, not recently anymore, but
a few months ago.
feels weird because of COVID. But there was issues with that because everyone was flying in there and they were discussing climate change and that as well, along with other issues. But COP26. This is one of the most like influential climate change.
Well, probably the most. It's
Yeah.
the United Nations. Like.
And this is more prevalent than ever. Climate change, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to affect us now. There's the 12 years cut-off deadline for the past point of no return, and they're coming in their place.
I mean, to be fair, I think we're already past point of no return.
Yeah.
We're already seeing.
Well, the
like,
world's never going to be,
Well, it was.
Yeah, but we have to find a way to limit the damage in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to just take action now and take really quite severe action.
Yeah.
The thing is, every day we don't do it, there's more permanent damage.
Yeah.
Like, we've already passed the point of, like, we have this species extinct,
Yeah.
more species going extinct, and people are just waiting until the second it affects...
Well, corporations
like,
are waiting until they affect
Until,
them.
until the sea levels are at their mansions. they
Yeah,
don't
like I think here's a brilliant point. What is it? I think it's the top 10 corporations producing 50% of global emissions, something like that.
I think that was actually.
Might not be a fact.
I think it was that was more to do with coal.
Well, whatever it bloody was.
But whatever it
coal
was,
balance
yeah.
and that.
basically corporations are really responsible for global
Most of the
emissions.
issue.
The individual carbon footprint. There was something about that.
Yeah. It's
No,
not. It's not you. It's not
not-
you with your plastic straw.
I mean,
basically.
firstly, it is partly you.
Yeah.
People do need to think about keeping their individual carbon footprints low, but
The main
thing, it's a drop in the ocean basically
Yeah.
compared to what
The
we
prime
could
example
be
is,
doing
yeah.
if you're lobbying corporations in order to do things better.
And governments want you to think it's you. You're the reason, you buy too much plastic. And everyone can buy less plastic. Everyone can recycle more.
Well-
but governments want you to think it's your fault.
Yeah,
not the
you're
corporations.
told that you're the problem by the people who are the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing
And
is,
another point. Sorry, Craig.
sorry.
Another point that I would like to make on COP26 is the fact that the leaders of two of the three most powerful countries in the world, China and Russia, those two world leaders are not attending this conference. When nearly every other world leader is, almost every other world leader is, about 190 of them, the leaders of China and Russia are not there.
Why?
Why?
I mean,
Why do we?
they don't care. They
Yeah.
think it's someone else's problem.
I
and
mean,
it's not someone else's
I mean, the
problem.
People's Republic of China produces some of them.
I'm sorry, but whenever I hear the words "People's Republic," and then China after it, it just makes me. It's quite funny.
yeah,
I mean, it's a serious matter, but
it's a bit of a
People's Republic
tautology,
of China.
isn't it?
is
Big up
funny,
the
so-
actual Republic of China and Taiwan, but
You mean Putin doesn't care about emissions? What? God
I mean-
damn it!
I think, to be fair, it's one of the another bridge we're going to have to cross in order to fix things because there's these two massive
Yeah. Powerhouses.
powers that just
Refuse.
don't care. Like China's was at some point producing CFCs again a few years ago, weren't they?
yeah, like
it's a nightmare.
They're
I
an
don't
economic-
know. Sorry, I don't know how we're going to achieve this without two of the three most powerful countries in the world
Yeah.
on board. It's almost impossible without them. So if they don't do their part, the world can't do it without them in a way.
Yeah. What really confuses me? What do they think is going to happen? What is their plan?
What's that again? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do they just want to accumulate as much money as they can before the end of the world?
Yeah.
What
Yes.
do they
Is it
want to do?
video game, like-
Do they think that it's not going to happen? Is the turn in the Civ 6 of real life ending? I don't know.
No, I
Like-
think that's the issue because China relies so much on its economy. And I mean, people think we rely on China, but think how much they rely on us. We bring so much business to them, and destroying half the world's population isn't going to do too good for the. I mean, that's no exaggeration. It wasn't happening with climate change, but still destroying a lot of.
I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Well, yeah,
the
but
way
still.
we're going.
It's causing problems for them, and like obviously Russia's maybe a bit of an outlier because it isn't as much of an economic powerhouse as China, but it's still very powerful.
It's a big land area.
Mm.
They could do a lot with the land that they have
Yeah.
to to slow things.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because it doesn't affect. Maybe it won't affect Russia. I mean, I'm kind of maybe making some.
I think it will affect Russia. I mean, it's impossible for if it affects us, it's going to affect Russia. I mean, not us as in the UK, us as in the world. Because Russia will have trade deals with the world, and they will have things coming in from the rest of the world.
I think it's widely acknowledged that avoiding the most damaging high temperatures in the future means having global carbon emissions down by 2030. Do you think this is actually going to be achieved?
It's achievable if we do it.
Yeah.
If we change our mind and do
But
it.
it
Easy,
won't happen.
achievable, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Because it's got to be halved. Do you think the corporations will halve everything by 2030? No, because the quantity of
until it becomes profitable for them to do so, they will not.
I mean, I'm optimistic. I think it's possible. I think it's more possible than people would like to think. I think a lot of people here are quite pessimistic about it.
There needs to be optimism in the world.
Yeah.
I think you call it pessimism, but I think I'm calling it realism.
Oh, don't say that. That's such a cop out. I'm a realist because I'm an optimist. I think things can happen.
He thinks communism will work.
No, hey, no.
We know what he's like. Okay.
Well, moving on.
But poor countries are hit the hardest by climate change inflicted by their rich countries. How do we view this?
BS.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's like a metaphor for things that happen all around the world constantly to the poor individual affected by the rich individual.
And it's a joke that in COP26...
At this conference, they're all there together, the poor countries and the rich countries, so...
But there's more diplomatic influence from the rich ones.
Yeah.
Like G7.
Yeah.
Like
the decisions won't be made amongst the smallest, poorest countries. It'll be the big economic powerhouses with the biggest corporations.
Do you think the president of Mozambique, I think they have a president, I'm pretty sure poorest country in the world, at least was last time I checked. Do you think they're going to have sway as Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, they don't, relative to their size, they probably don't emit as much.
No, but the negatives are affecting them more than anything.
Exactly. They don't cause barely anything. So
because
it shows the inequality in the world.
To do with population, as well. Like the UK has 60 million people. Yeah, well, close to 70 now. Whatever it is, they have more sway than something like India, which couple billion. Is it 2 billion?
Loads.
And then the US is only houses 600 million. Am I right?
I think it's a bit more than that.
I think it's
wait. 600 million does not seem like
it's
enough.
a lot. It's a lot less than you'd think. I'm not going to Google it. Fact check us, please.
Comment it below.
Tell us in the comments.
Engagement. God.
Right.
No, but yeah, it's just it is outrageously unfair. I don't want to get into a big long speech about how rich people make everything worse, but rich people make everything worse.
There will be a time and a place for that in a future episode.
Look forward to that.
Next time, maybe.
Yeah. God.
And we have. Is there a level of fear mongering when it comes to climate change information?
Absolutely. I think absolutely there is. I think we have some groups like Insulate Britain, Extinction Rebellion, saying the world is about to end. No, the world isn't about to end. The world's about to end if we change nothing. Now is the time to change things, and I think at this conference, hopefully that will be achieved.
Is it fear mongering if it's true?
If it's true,
I
think that's why.
Okay, the thing is,
there's different levels to this. Though we have some people saying, "My daughter is 3 years old and she's not going to live to the age of 30." I've seen that being said.
We might not.
Yeah. The world's not going to end in the next 27 years because it might be a degree higher. It's not good if it happens, but the world's not going to end. And then we need to accept that. There's time for us to sort this out, calm it down a little bit, end the hysteria, and work for a solution.
I completely disagree. I completely disagree.
So do you not think there is a level of do you not think there is a level of fear?
No, I think the information that's being put out is factually correct, but people are calling it fear mongering because it is scary. Because it's reached a point.
It is scary.
It's reached a point where things are going extinct. We've reached many points of no return. People are calling that exaggerations. We're fine. It's not affecting me. But the thing is, it's true, and it is scary. But people who don't want to take responsibility are just calling it fear mongering.
Corporations.
Factually incorrect, or it's fine.
Do you think it's fair for somebody to say to young people younger than us that the planet is about to die? Do you think they should be?
Yes,
it's true.
It's true.
I think it's true.
It shouldn't be fear.
That's not true at all.
I think just to
the
clarify, there are groups who
years,
exaggerate slightly.
Yeah.
But I don't think there are many. And
Yeah.
I think if anything, the exaggeration is founded because no one is doing anything.
Yeah.
If you don't exaggerate, what's going to happen?
If you don't exaggerate, then no one's going to care.
It brings it back to Insulate Britain. Nobody heard about them till they blocked the ambulances. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying it's true.
Yeah. There's no way groups like this can win. They either do nothing. They either, what's the word? Like they're not influential enough.
No one listens to them, or they do something outrageous and they get attention. I mean, that's unfortunately the way it is. I mean, it's right, but it's the way it is.
It's like they've got it's bad choices either way. That's what I mean.
So just to end this section on COP26, let's just ask ourselves this question: do you think that COP26 will actually be able to change anything? This conference right now happening today as we speak. Do you think it's going to be able to change?
It has the capability to change things, but whether it will remains to be seen.
Do you want to go?
I was going to say I think it's not going to take us backwards. It can't take us backwards. There's no way it's going to take us backwards. I don't know why I said that 3 times. I don't think there's going to be many major changes. Even though there really should be major changes.
The fact that they've already made it worse by flying in private jets,
but it's raising public awareness. It's maybe coming to deals. It's maybe coming to.
I don't think it will implement any short-term policy change, but I think it will set the foundation for a bit more because this is news in every country in the world right now.
It's just a shame it in itself.
Station
is like
United Kingdom as well, which is a good.
I mean, so far all we're doing is we're saying. Well, we're, as in the world, not the UK, sorry I keep on doing that, all we're doing at the moment is we're saying, by 2030 we're going to do something, by 2040 we're going to do something, and then we extend the deadlines and we just say, by this time we're going to do something, and then we do nothing.
Yeah. So the thing is, your corporation, they can make it happen now, but they're choosing not to.
It's procrastination on a global level, it's really annoying.
But anyway, the next topic, everyone's favourite
next
person,
topic.
Boris Johnson, everybody.
Okay, so there is a picture. We're going to try and hopefully have it on the screen so you can see it if you're watching on the visuals on YouTube. If you're not watching the visuals, I'll describe the picture for you.
Testing our editing prowess.
It's the picture of the G20 summit in Rome. Another conference is happening just before COP26, so they'll go to Rome and then they'll fly to COP26, more carbon into the atmosphere, just to wait there. Anyway, it's a picture of Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, arriving late to the G20 summit, and the other world leaders are already there, as you can probably hopefully see, and they're all laughing at him.
Yeah. They're all with him. We're
with him. Yeah. Funny Boris. He's
That's
late.
the question.
You can see, you see Joe Biden, the president. I'm not sure of his name. The president of the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm not sure why Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. I don't know why he's grabbing Boris Johnson. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Holding him back from the
He
position
might
of
be
power.
holding him back from Macron. That might be what he's doing.
I thought that was a police officer who was escorting
No,
him
it's
in.
not. It's the Prime Minister of Canada.
Please, sir, this way.
But they're all laughing at him. They're all laughing at him. Are they laughing with him or are they laughing
No,
at
let's be
him?
real,
So
it's
what-
at him.
So what was why was he late? Was there a reason?
I'm not sure why he was late.
He's
but he
Boris
was. That's the point.
Johnson. What do you mean?
Because, I mean, firstly, I have zero respect for Boris Johnson. I think he's a buffoon. I think he's completely incompetent. I think he shouldn't even be able to be allowed to run a fast food restaurant. However, people do make mistakes, and someone becoming late to something is something that happens. But I don't know.
But doesn't this
But
highlight...
for this, being late to this.
Yeah, true.
Like-
Being late to an international
And
summit.
it's not like he has to worry about the rush hour.
Yeah.
He's Boris Johnson. He's got a private jet.
He's got a plane.
As bad as that is.
I think it might happen every so often, but I think probably what's happened is I would go so far as to say maybe that he has intentionally been late, so we're talking about him now.
Yeah.
Like we're only talking about him now because he's been late.
I don't think that happened, but with Boris Johnson it might have done.
Well,
you know?
That is one of his tactics.
It's the
It's one-
character of
yeah.
Boris.
Yeah.
They want people to think,
Whether-
what a funny guy, what an idiot.
Whether we
that's
like
the
it,
face he puts on.
whether we like it or not, Boris Johnson is the face of the United Kingdom, the face of our country.
Oh.
He's the leader of the country, and to see other world leaders visibly laughing
Yeah.
at him, it's embarrassing that he is the face of our country. I know it's part of his act, but at the same time, seeing them all laugh at him, and I'm gonna make this point now. Even if there was another member of the senior figure in the Conservative Party, say Rishi Sunak, Dominic Raab, Sajid Javid, if one of those three were Prime Minister, they wouldn't be doing this. They'd be on time. They'd at least be a respectable figure.
Well,
he isn't. He's an idiot.
If it was Hancock, he'd be in his office.
I don't include
Yeesh.
Hancock as a respectable figure, but he's not
But you
senior.
included Sunak as a respectable figure.
Oh, God.
More respectable than Hancock.
Okay.
it's a complete embarrassment to everybody involved.
This isn't even that important. He's just late for everything. People are laughing at him. But there's a bigger picture here. Yeah. How do people view our country on the world stage?
I think it's crucial because right now we're trying to negotiate coming out of the European Union. Well, we're already out. But we're negotiating trade deals with these non-European Union countries. They're all, I think, bar Macron, are non-European Union countries, and they're laughing at us. How is that going to affect us? We're trying to do a big trade deal with America. And what's Joe Biden thinking? Oh, he's an idiot. He's a fool. Why would he trade with us, Little Britain?
And Joe Biden doesn't like Boris Johnson anyway because of his Irish roots and.
No, the main reason why Joe Biden dislikes Boris Johnson is because of his comments on Barack Obama about in the lead up to the EU referendum in 2016. Barack Obama came out in support of David Cameron, saying that they'd go to the back of the queue, talking about the United Kingdom is what he said. And Boris Johnson said, who was one of the leading figure in the Leave campaign, Boris Johnson said, why should we listen to a part Kenyan president? Something along those lines. And he did say that. And Joe Biden has apparently held a grudge against Boris Johnson ever since he said that.
I honestly don't.
He has a healthy dislike for him.
As do most people on the stage, probably.
Yeah,
he's not shown the EU respect, has he?
No,
he's basically spat in their face. And whether you agree with that or not, that show of British power, that's not left a good relation.
We're a dying nation. We used to make steel. We used to do important things. But now we don't. What do we do?
Here he goes again.
Our biggest export is Scotch whisky. Nobody wants that. Once Scotland F's off and go do their own thing, which they probably will in the near future, what are we going to do? What's England and Wales and Northern Ireland going to do?
I think what we should do, Wales and Scotland need to leave the UK. The West Midlands and everywhere else need to leave the UK.
Cut.
All the boroughs of London, apart from Westminster, they need to leave the UK.
Okay.
And then we draw a border around the Parliament building. That's the only bit of UK left. Everybody joins Ireland.
The Snowflakes podcast.
And then Parliament is the only part of the UK that is remaining. And then they can just do what they want. They can do what they want. No one cares.
Yeah. Trying to bring it back to the very serious point of Boris Johnson.
Yes, Boris Johnson, the infamous serious
Let us ask this key question right at the end. Is it embarrassing that Boris Johnson is the face of the United Kingdom?
Yes.
100% yes.
And this isn't even a big deal.
To say the other thing.
It shows a bigger picture, doesn't it?
Earlier, I forgot to say he's also a pathological liar.
Yeah.
I think he needs to. His entire media personality is a fraud.
Some people love that, but some people love the lovable, funny guy.
He's been banned from newspapers. Has he been banned from the Daily Mail?
I don't know. He got sacked for a newspaper for lying. That's a fact.
He's been sacked for lying, and he's now the Prime Minister.
He's had numerous affairs.
He's still a liar. This is not somebody who wants to be in your
We
country.
don't want Boris Johnson in charge of our country. We all think that, and I think he's a national embarrassment. He's a racist. He's a horrible person.
You can't even count the amount of kids on one hand.
Exactly.
Yeah, and his Wikipedia page literally says he has at least 7.
I'm not going to judge the amount of children somebody.
If he's pumping them out, well in. But
Jesus,
what can I say?
Oh, that's the Prime Minister, everybody.
Well, we can carry on ranting about Boris Johnson
all day.
For a very, very long time.
We could extend this podcast to an hour if we want.
But we're not going to.
Thank you all on all of our social medias.
Thank you all very much for watching.
The first
we'll be back next Tuesday, hopefully. Please watch that video. You can follow us on
YouTube,
Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well.
TikTok.
Make sure to get
subscribe on YouTube, and we will see you next week.
At some point, we'll have a website. Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Stay tuned for updates.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.